Ladies and gentlemen, we want you to stand and we want you to make some noise.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing here at Knoxville.
Only the best go 3 abreast.
It is show time at Williams Grove Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Eldora Speedway, it's showtime!
You got them for a rep. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaws.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Set to do battle for 30 laps. The green flag is waving.
Hello, everybody. This is Wing Nation Podcast presented by Drydene DRF Racing. I'm Erin Evernham alongside Ashley Stremme again. Postman still on his weather delay. I'm not sure. I think he might just be running on the beach all week.
It's true. God love him. I know he's been enjoying this Florida weather and his long walks on the beach because, I mean, let's be honest. I think we both like long walks on the beach.
Yes,
so I
wouldn't be in any hurry home either.
Right. I'm slightly envious.
Yeah. So how are you, Ashley?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. This
It's almost the weekend.
I know. This
Cheers.
Girls' Week is kind of cool.
It is. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, man. I just want to start off by mentioning our good friends of the entire sprint car racing world, Sage Fruit. They're a big partner of ours. But Ashley, you've been to their facilities. Can you tell us about your trip out to the West Coast?
Absolutely incredible. The facility in Washington, what they do there, I mean, I could go on for days and talk about what goes on in the facilities out there. Their orchards are absolutely beautiful, but the way those machines process fruit and how they it's like sprint car racing, to be completely honest with you. I mean, they're juking and jiving and diving, and I'm knocking my microphone out of the whack. But it's incredible because what they do there is so quickly, and they send these fruit all over the country.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. And, you know, they've been a partner of sprint car racing for 17 years now.
That's crazy.
And they've been a partner of Wing Nation for 5 years now. And they're not just here to be a sponsor, in all honesty. Chuck and Casey with Sage Fruit are absolutely incredible people. And they are true diehard sprint car fans, whether it's the Chili Bowl, the Knoxville Nationals. You can find those two at almost any dirt track across the country throughout the year. So it's always awesome to catch up with them.
Yeah, we were at the Jackson Nationals last year, and I looked down, and there's Chuck sitting like right in the middle of a group of fans just enjoying the sprint car racing.
Yes.
We thank them for all they do for us. And let's jump right into our Drydene move of the week. This was
incredible.
Yes,
Holy
this was
moly.
last Monday at East Bay. Ollie's Bargain Outlet All-Star Circuit of Champions. This was on Flow Racing. Blake Anderson on the call. Aaron Reitzel goes from third to first in one move. So now here is the Drydene Diesel all-defying move of the week.
And now for the Drydene death-defying move of the week, where one driver simply amazes us with their on-track moves.
Brownie's got company from Stewart and Reitzel. 3-car battle for the lead in turn number 2. Down the backstretch move, Reitzel. Reitzel goes 2 for 1 into the lead. Erin Reitzel with the magnificent move to take the lead.
That death-defying move was brought to you by Drydene Diesel All Death, the official death of the world of outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. Visit Drydene.com for more information.
That was our Drydene Diesel all-death-defying move of the week. We just love that everything Drydene does for sprint car racing. We talked about Sage Fruit and how long they've been involved in sprint car racing. Drydene's a little bit newer to the sport, but man, they have jumped in full bore.
Holy moly.
Sponsoring Shark Racing, Logan Schuhart, Jacob Allen, and Dave Klinger, the COO, I believe. What an incredible guy. Every time you see them at the racetrack, they're just so positive, so much energy. And I know they've gotten involved in NASCAR now. I mean, they're just such a cool a partner of ours in all of sprint car racing.
It truly is what they do. And just like you said, their positive outlook, you know, they're there for the long haul. And hey, you're going to have your ups and downs. It's just the way it is. And another great company like that is Aggressive Hydraulics. They do racing components, purpose builds, hydraulic cylinders, anything that you really need for those customer-specific application. They design and manufacture mobile-style single-stage cylinders as well as multi-stage telescopic cylinders. Now, I know this is just breeding right into your engineering degree and all the things that happens, but they truly have a no-size-fits-all approach. And make sure you check out their video story at aggressivehydraulics.com. Again, that's aggressivehydraulics.com.
All right, so coming up on the show, I didn't tease this earlier much because We're going to talk to Peter Murphy, a great ambassador of our sport, a great friend of mine. I haven't seen him in a long time, but we catch up on the phone a lot when we talk to him on Wing Nation. But he's Australian. And our friend here, Ashley Stremme, has a little thing for Australian accents, so I didn't want to get her too excited.
Well, you might be doing this interview by yourself. I'm sorry in advance. But
so on the Sage Fruit Hotline, with no further ado, is our buddy Peter Murphy. Peter, how you doing?
Good. I'm real good. A little bit embarrassed now myself now, but that's okay.
Oh, gosh. Well, you should see Ashley over here.
No, don't show me.
Yeah. Well, I can only go back to the situation we were at somewhere in Texas when you put on your English accent that you did.
I'm trying. I'm really trying. I still really want an English or Australian accent. And I just got back from like a 2-week trip to New Zealand, so I feel like I'm in contention, but I'm a little nervous to do it on air.
Yeah. No, I think you should have a go. We'll
have a go?
We'll rate you.
mate.
Yeah.
No worries,
yeah.
mate.
Yeah, no, not good. Not good.
What, is no waka still mean what I think it means?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
It does.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said that on air then.
No, you shouldn't have. Depends what country you're in, though, really.
Yeah, exactly. All right. In all seriousness, we've lost Ashley. Peter, how are you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, I guess. Probably just done the usual thing again, and probably bitten off a little bit more than I can chew. But elbows are up, having a go. I've spent some time in the work area this week already, but changed gears and I'm back out on the track, if you know what I mean. So
yeah, I love the
analogies. Got to
analogies.
adjust the high speed. Yeah, I've got to adjust the high speed just a little bit to get me down the straight a little bit quicker.
All right, so you've taken over full. We've lost Ashley right now. I'm sorry. She's like bright red, dying with the accent.
I'm sorry. It just is so cute.
She's a mess. This is there's a long history
she
here.
Know me.
I don't know
she
if you
doesn't know me very well then.
No. There's a long history. Who was the first one?
Jamie Veal, God bless his soul.
Jamie Veal years ago called, and Ashley lost her mind. We had no idea she had this thing for Australian accents, and then it continued to. We were at Knoxville a few years ago, and Carrie Madsen and Brooke Tatnall came up on stage, and we completely lost her. So do not worry. Well, I mean, I want you to be flattered because she is.
Oh no, yeah.
All right.
Good.
Anywho, back to racing.
Yes, ma'am.
So you took over as the full-time promoter of Keller Auto Speedway in Hanford. How did this all come about?
Early on in the year, I got offered a deal possibly to be the promoter at Skagit up in Washington, and there was because Steve was interested in selling it, and there was a few people interested in buying it, but it never really got together. But it sparked a little bit of an interest in me to think that maybe I want to have a go at this, because I enjoy doing my race every year at Tulare. And this one, obviously, this track isn't in Skagit, Washington. It's only 40 minutes up the road from where I live. So it's like, well, maybe, and these people, the previous owners didn't have a plan to get out, but I guess I annoyed them enough to where they thought, well, maybe we'll move on. But they are very busy with their. They also do a 600 track at Plaza Park, and they both work, and they've got a restaurant as well. So it was probably just, probably easy just to flick this one out the side to me and call it good. So yeah, that's kind of what happened. So yeah, that's where we are.
I love it. You talk about the Peter Murphy Classic, and we'll get to that in a minute. But I really want to hit on what you're doing with this track. Is it going to be kind of the same thing? I know you love to mix things up and do things that are unique and really try to hit something that the sprint car world isn't hitting anywhere else in the country. Is that kind of the approach that you're taking with this track? Yeah,
unfortunately, that's how I am. So I just can't just let things sit normally. So I've got to have a go. So there's so many things about the track here that, like, it used to be wider. I've narrowed it up back in the day when I was racing here so much as well. It just changed a lot of things there, changing the appearance of everything is all big things. I know this wasn't your question, but I'm trying to create an atmosphere when you walk in the gate that's different, because it is new owners. And atmosphere is what racetracks lack in a lot of places, I think. So whatever I can do to create that. So hence, this used to be a horse track back in the 50s. And the original ticket booth, I believe it's the original ticket booth, is still here, but it wasn't used as a ticket booth anymore. So we've rebuilt it and repainted it so it blends in with everything else. And so just I don't know if the correct word is walking through the ambience of the whole place would, take you back a step, but then, you're here today and that. So, but as in racing side of it, my goal is to be done at 10 o'clock. I don't want to be later than that. I know from the get-go that's going to be a little bit tough because I don't know anything that I'm doing here, eh? So I've got to figure this out as we go, and it'll be a work in progress. But these are my goals. I want to be done at 10, and if I'm not, well, I'll figure out a way to be done at 10, basically. But I have so many ideas on different ways to have races, and because I raced a lot in New Zealand and obviously in Australia, the things are different in these countries. So if I take a little bit of the good from all of them, and then maybe I can come up with something really unique, and because the goal is my goal is for the fans to want to come there. I want them to want to come back. I want the race car drivers to want to come back. I'm trying to be on top of the surface and make that what I think it should be. But that all being said, nothing is set in concrete, because the biggest problem today, I think, we don't adapt to what the world's doing. So we have to adapt on this side of the fence as well. So does that make sense? Like, am I sounding like I'm halfway knowledgeable?
Peter,
Absolutely.
other than your accent, because I already love that. I mean, I know I've never met you, but I absolutely love your mindset. This sport is an entertainment sport.
It is.
We've got to get past the typical Saturday night racing, 9 to 5, that we need to get past that. And I'm loving the energy that you're giving and the direction that you want to go, because we need to entertain our fans. We are in a different world.
We have to, and that's the biggest problem is if we, it's just like if you're racing a car, as you know, and you're the crew chief on the car or the driver in a race, the track changes lap to lap. So you have to adapt to everything that's going on. So why, as a promoter, why can't we adapt to what's going on in the world? I think it all goes hand in hand, and it has to be done that way. Otherwise, it will just continue to fail, which I don't want to say this, but I think it is failing over in California anyway. We've got to do what we can to get new people interested and keep the old people interested. It does, it just has to be. We have to make changes.
It's so true, because literally our attention spans today aren't what they used to be. When we watch a video on YouTube, the first thing we do is check out how long it is. We don't want to invest too much time into it, right?
Yeah.
So Peter, is this things you're dreaming up yourselves, these ideas? Are you seeing these at different tracks across the country? Do you have a sounding board that you kind of bounce these ideas off of? Where does this come from? I have a
lot of voices. I have a lot of voices in my head. Sometimes they're not good ones either. So, but just trying to, I look at everything that's going on in again, not just here, not in California, not all the way across this country, all the countries that I've mentioned. Everyone does something a little bit different, and it's just a matter of if keeping. You just can't settle. We got to be different all the time. That's how I think. So,
Peter,
otherwise, everyone gets bored.
It's true. Yeah, very true. And like Ashley said, this our society today is so different. They want instant gratification all the time. Peter, you talked about sprint car racing in California. It seems, unfortunately, we don't get out there very often, being on the East Coast, but it seems in recent years...
Well, you have to fix that.
I know. We need
to go. Maybe the Erin and Ashley show need to go to
we need to go to Hanford.
Peter Murphy Classic.
Amen. Can you sign us up for that? We're signing up for your race. I'll even bring out my English accent if I have enough to drink.
There you go. Well, we'll put you on stage, so you have to... practice that one pretty good.
All right, deal. We've got a done deal. But in all seriousness, sprint car racing to us on the West Coast seems like it's actually had a bit of a resurgence, whether it be because of Rico and Kyle, but even the tracks in the King of the West series, the new 360 Sprint Car Tour Challenge series, it seems like it's actually doing a little better than it was. Is that right, or is that just our perception?
I think it is, but I think it goes in waves as well. 1 minute's up, next minute sort of goes down again. So it's just not just me, but everyone has to keep changing. Everyone has to keep doing something different to keep everyone else involved and interested. So, but it is definitely good. And we have great drivers in California. Obviously, when you go to Knoxville, how many in the top 10 were from California? You go to Chili Bowl, how many, there's a lot of good Californian drivers. I'm not saying that they're not everywhere else in the country either, but there is a lot good ones come here. So whatever we can do to make it even stronger would be, make it like Pennsylvania strong. That'd be kind of cool. you know.
Peter, you just keep checking off all the marks necessary in my book.
Start talking Pennsylvania.
That's
Ashley's,
right.
That's Ashley's world.
Yep.
That's my world.
There you go.
And I want to ask
Well,
you about that.
You got to say that they're strong out there. So why can't we be the same out here?
Yeah, I think
They
you're
are,
getting there.
but it is growing. Erin hit a very great point. California sprint car racing was kind of on a lower end, and it really has seen a resurgence in the last few years. And I really want to ask you about that, Peter. Obviously, you're from Australia, but why did you? I mean, I just love it. Let's be honest. Why did you choose California? You know, we see Australians go to Iowa or other different places. Why did you choose California?
Well, to be honest, I chose Iowa too. Well, the first time I come over here, I went to Indiana and hung out with Steve Kinzer for the first time I was here, and then went from there to driving in Knoxville, Iowa. That's like you said, that's where everyone goes. But then I met Maury Williams, owner of the Zero car that lived in California, and then he asked me, "Do I want to have a go on his hot rod?" So I followed him around, and then I stayed. That's just where I stayed. So we just California is pretty similar to Australia with the weather. So I don't mind it too much at all. So although you have to make it clear that you do need a passport to come into California because it is a different country. I'm picking that to be true.
Couldn't agree more.
Peter, do you still get back to Australia often, and do you follow everything that goes on with the sprint cars there?
Yes, I do. I follow as much as I can. Obviously, the Classic was just on. Everything that goes on at Parramatta. I even have a big interest in what goes on up in Darwin, at Northline Speedway up there, and how they promote, how they do things. It's just a different place. It's just different, and so that's I look at everything. So.
Peter, there was an announcement that came out about Parramatta. I think it was back in December. I'm not sure about the potential it's going to close because they're going to build some railroad or something crazy. Is there any update on that, or have you been for us here? It's hard to kind of keep up with the posts.
I think they're going to be there for another couple of years at least. I think the government's not giving him the right answers that they need and where they want to put them. Isn't the greatest thing for them. I don't believe. They don't talk to the speedway people, which they need to. So everyone gets what they need. If they just put it in the middle of this place there, that dust and this is going to do, and speedway people know all about, the bad side of sport, which is dust, obviously. But I think it should be. I think it should be right for another couple of minutes, another couple of years, and then, but then they're obviously looking really hard to find another place to go, another venue to create. So. And they really need it because Parramatta was such a good sprint car track. So yeah.
Love it. Well, Peter, I want to talk about, we're going to switch gears a smidge. If we talk about the Peter Murphy Classic, May 15th and 16th, the seventh annual, you've got some pretty heavy hitters who have won that race over the year, from Kyle Hurst to Rico Abreu, Aaron Reitzel.
Yep.
Absolutely incredible. And what you do there, like you said, always trying to find something different to add to the flavor. Do you have anything that you can maybe kind of throw out there as to what we can expect for this year?
No, not. I can't tell you because you might tell someone else. So.
It's just you, me, and Erin talking here. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's just girl talk.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. Now I've lost the plot altogether now that you said that. No, I do have. I have. Again, the way the race is just building up, and it is becoming an event. It is an event. It's not a race to go to whatever. It's an event, and the more things that I can create behind the scenes. So I don't mean to be rude. I'm just going to change subjects. Go back to the to racing here. They had their own schedule, and I haven't changed that, but I have added 4 sprint car races to the deal, and they're all 410 races. But when I'm putting them on, I'm not having 4 classes. I'm just having 2 classes. So then I put on a show as well as the race, if that makes sense. So hence it's the same thing as what I do for the Classic. Is I don't need 15 classes of cars or whatever. I just want 2, and I want to be able to entertain the crowd in other ways as well as the racing. Like the racing is really good, and there's just so many different things that I want to do. And last year we put a lot of K-rail in the middle, and then that created more room to put more banners and things, people that were helping, and that. But this year I want to change them around. I don't want people to settle. That's the whole thing. Doesn't matter where I'm at. So
Peter, do you see the Classic staying where it is, or do you think you'd move it to Hanford? Is that a
We'll see how this year here goes, but to be honest, like, Tulari's only 40 minutes up the road from where we are.
Mm-hmm.
And we have such a good relationship with Steve Ferrier and his people, and they have actually they've been over backwards for me here to make us, whatever we need, they're trying to help us out as best they can. So, it's not in comparison to like any real big races, as in like an Oxford Nationals or something like that, but you don't move that race. So at this point, I can't see why you would want to move my race. That's where it's at, so.
Absolutely. And you've built something great there for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
To completely go off topic, because when I was doing a little research on you, Peter, I came across you playing,
you
and I'm
going
to
like Peter Murphy.
I totally am going to butcher this, but I am so intrigued. The Australian, is it the Australian Digidito? Digidirdo?
Yeah,
what is that thing?
yeah.
And what
Didgeridoo, right? Did I say it right?
Not close at all. No, it's called the didgeridoo actually, and it's an Aboriginal instrument that it's just a big piece of wood and they can blow through and make a bit of noise out of it. So unfortunately, I actually know how to play it. Usually, sometimes when I'm put under pressure, I can definitely mess it up. But yeah, no, my boys can play it. So it's just, again, that was just something to entertain the people that obviously look at me that I can't play it and they think I'm an idiot. So it's all good.
All right, so when we bring our all-girls Wing Nation show out to Hanford or the Classic, whichever you prefer, we would like the didgeridoos out there.
All right. We'll,
is that a deal?
I have authentic ones, so you can definitely have a go.
Awesome. I'm excited.
Awesome. Peter, thank you so much. It was great to catch up. You sorry we were a little giggly and crazy, but
no worries, mate. No
good
worries.
fun.
You're golden.
Happy to hear about your new gig, and we look forward to hearing more from you as the season goes on.
No worries. You're a legend, mate. Believe me. So thank you.
It's all about that accent, right? Thank you,
Love
Peter.
it.
We'll catch up with you as the season goes on.
Thanks, mate. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye, mate. Bye, mate.
Oh, gosh. You survived.
I
mean,
did.
that was good stuff.
Thankfully, the camera wasn't on me the whole time.
Yeah, it took about like 3-4 minutes before you kind of got yourself together. But
you gotta,
Yeah, you did well.
You gotta pull yourself together.
He's such a great guy.
He is. He's awesome. I can't wait to meet him.
Yeah.
He's a
You'll
bucket
like
of
him.
fun.
He is. He is. And get a few beverages in him. He's
bless.
Good times. All right, moving on. So thank you to Peter Murphy for joining us, and I want to thank Sunoco Racing for being a part of Wing Nation. Sunoco is a proud partner of Wing Nation and really all of MRN. Whether you're headed to the track or just hitting the road, you can fill up with Sunoco Ultra Tech and fuel your best. But we have so many great sponsors and partners with Wing Nation and everyone here at MRN. It's so neat. Like, I feel like we fill up half the show talking about them, but we appreciate them.
They're the reason we're here, and that's what we love about it. Like we said earlier in the show, Drydene, they do so much for this sport, so much going on, so invested into sprint car racing and racing in general, and that's what's so great about it. Without them, we can't do what we do. So if you want to get greater performance and protection for those critical parts, go to Drydene.com or call 1-877-DRYDENE. They are the official partner of the World of Outlaws.
They are. So I think that about wraps up. I think we survived another show. I think this is, other than Saturday, we've got one more. One more to do. But anyway, you could get all your Wing Nation apparel at wingnation.com, or it's also on the Ollie's Bargain All-Star Outlaw All-Star Circuit of Champions trailer. Please follow us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube page has all of our archives, all of our old shows, and also on wingnation.com, you can see the upcoming calendar. So you can see all the racing events coming up, and there's live links to whoever is covering them, whether it be Dirt Vision or Flow Racing or
Racing Boys,
exactly,
you name it.
any
Yes. And hey, make sure to tweet your seat.
Yes.
Because we've got Brad Sweet this week on MAV TV. So
we need your tweet your seats.
That's right.
It's a big part of our show.
It really is.
And speaking of that, on Saturday on MAV TV, we are interviewing Brad Sweet, and it is the finale of the All Girls Week here.
It is.
On Wing Nation. But thank you all for joining us and putting up with Ashley and I on Wing Nation.
This has been the Wing Nation Podcast. Find Wing Nation on wingnation.com, Facebook, YouTube, or your favorite podcast provider. The Wing Nation Podcast is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.